It's WOR Tonight
with Joe Concha and Lis Wiehl.
And we welcome back to the show our old friend Bob Bianchi. He is a former Morris County prosecutor and a now host with Law and Crime. Welcome back, Bob.
Hi, Lis. Joe, how are you?
Bobby.
Great to have you with us. So it has been a busy week and not such a great week for Jussie Smollett, who is now back in the news, Bob, with the judge pronouncing this week that record, that file that he had in court that was now so sealed is not going to be sealed anymore. The judge saying that Jussie Smollett, after he was uncharged, shall we say, and the filing let go, proceeded to go in front of the cameras and say how innocent he was, and by doing that, acted as somebody who really wasn't that concerned with his privacy, and because of that, the record should be released. What do you think about that?
I think it's a good first step, Lisa. I've been very disturbed about this case as a prosecutor who ran an agency like Kim Foxx did. When you've been doing this long enough, you can smell a rat when you see one or when one's around, and that's what happened here. They charged this kid. They went before a grand jury. That's the prosecutor's decision. The prosecutor decides, I'm going to present it because there's enough evidence. The grand jury indicts it, and then they go and seal a record, dismiss the charges, allow Jussie Smollett to go out, as you've indicated, and say, oh, I'm innocent, poor, woe is me, and throw the Chicago Police Department, the grand jurors, the citizens of Cook County under the bus. It's not good, but it's only a first step because those court records aren't going to tell us what we really need to know, Lisa and Joe. What I want is an independent investigation, and I want the files of Kim Foxx. I want the text messages, I want the emails, and I want to know the prosecutorial underpinnings as to why they would reverse a grand jury decision that they sought to get an indictment on a case as grave as this. It's sickening to me.
Yeah, Bobby, I'm in the same boat as you. I get so pissed off when I hear about this case every time when I know that all those resources in Chicago were used to chase phantoms in essence, and then the fact that he tried to work in some political angle as well and saying that Trump supporters actually were the ones that attacked him and all this nonsense, and the fact that he was able to just walk away scot-free like that. I guess my question is there any chance that he will be where he should be, which is jail, where they can convict him somehow, and this is the process, the first step that gets us to that point, because it's no doubt in anybody's mind that he did this, he filed that false police report, he sent that letter to himself, he did all these things, and he deserves to pay for it.
Yeah, Joe. Well, let's not forget the FBI is still investigating with regard to this fake letter that he sent, because that would be using the interstate mails or wires, if you will, which would be a crime. So you got that. The state attorney general's office can jump in here, and that indictment can be brought back up and be resurrected. But, Joe, I want to tell you a little interesting anecdote, because I think I talked to you guys about this before. I don't want to pat myself on the back, but let me pat myself on the back.
Go right ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. I said to all those defense lawyers, you may remember me saying, you should all be standing outside the courtrooms. All the media should be standing outside those courtrooms. And when people are charged with obstruction or lying to police or falsifying a report to police, you should be asking, are they going to get the Smollett deal, which is now an acronym or a statement that we use all around the country. I want the Smollett deal. And sure enough, in Cook County about 2 weeks ago, a woman on a $200 case lied about something to the police, and they were looking for jail time, and the judge said, are you kidding me, after what Jussie Smollett got, that you're sitting there looking to convict this woman on a $200 case? You better reconsider before the media finds out about it. And as life would have it, the media found out about it. That is the hypocrisy that's going on right in the middle of the Cook County DA's office.
That's all right. So that's right. So we're already seeing the ripple effect on the Smollett case, and we're going to see more of it coming up, I'm sure. We'll all be watching that case very closely. There were also big developments this week in the Michael Avenatti case, where the feds charged him with misappropriating nearly $300,000 from his ex-client, Stormy Daniels, and in fact, misappropriating them by forging her signature, Bob, on advances to her book money that was coming in. So he's in really big trouble from coast to shining coast. It's really incredible what he's doing. And I want to put you in kind of a spot here, Bob, because I know that you have done a lot of great, amazing defense work. And Avenatti does not have a defense lawyer right now. And I'm not saying that you would actually defend him. I wouldn't put that on you. But if for a moment you were put in the position of having to defend this guy, how would you possibly defend him? What would you say?
Well, Lise, you were a former federal prosecutor, so you know as well as I do. Before they go after a guy like Michael Avenatti, and with so many cases, they have their I's dotted and their T's crossed. The feds don't like to bring bogus cases with high-profile people because if they lose, it's a high-profile loss. But to your point, everyone's entitled to a defense. And I've been watching this guy for a couple of years and in shock as to how he could be in the public face arguing a case that he's got against the president and giving extrajudicial statements in violation of the ethics rules, and no one's doing anything about it. Here's my defense. And I'm serious. And we do this a lot in order to mitigate the damage. He needs to see a psychiatrist. He needs to be evaluated to see whatever mental health issues he may have and or addiction issues he may have. It's not a defense, but you go to the feds, you say, listen, he's a sick person. He did bad things. He's willing to atone. He's in rehab. At least you know as well as I do. He'll get acceptance of responsibility credits. If you do the right thing and Michael Avenatti falls on his sword, then he may be able to limit some of the exposure he's got. And 90% of what we do as defense lawyers isn't with the public things like finding loopholes and things to get people out of it that are really guilty of crimes. It's basically explaining to prosecutors, here's the context under which he did these horribly reckless things right there, open in the public, in the media, and obviously he did it in his practice too. He's willing to make restitution. Let's not hit a fly with a sledgehammer. But I still say, with all the best things breaking in Michael Avenatti's favor, he strikes me as the kind of character, whatever is going on in his head, that he would refuse to accept that advice. That's the most difficult thing we have as a defense lawyer. He'll want to slay it out, and the more he gets charged, as you know, they have to plead to the most readily provable offense. So as these charges keep getting ratcheted up, and he keeps representing himself, he who represents himself as a fool for a client, there's a reason that adage is known in the law. And I think Michael Avenatti's picture is going to be right next to that quote.
Yeah, I Bob, in full disclosure, had to deal with Avenatti a couple of times in some stories that I had written about him. And the ego there is no limit, let's put it that way. So to your point, he'll have trouble accepting that. The problem is with minimizing his sentence, maybe he could get it tempered down a little bit, is that some reports have him facing up to 335 years in prison. Hey, I got it down to 240. Either way, he's going away for a long time, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah,
I agree that whatever mitigation you can do, it's still going to be lengthy.
That's true. And unfortunately, Lise, we have to leave it there with Mr. Bianchi.
Bob.
We need 3 hours with this guy. Always brings the heat. That's what we like about him. Bob, any plans for the Memorial Day weekend?
You know what? This was my plan. I said, if I can get on with Lise and Joe before the Memorial Day weekend, I don't need a hamburger, a hot dog, a barbecue, a drink. My weekend's been made. Wow.
I think most people say they need a drink before they come on with us, so that's a good thing. All right, Bob. Enjoy weekend. Morris County. Good talking to you, and we'll have you back real soon.